Welcome to my tutorial number 18. It's titled Ping Not Pong Part 2. It's a follow-up to Part 1, and there's one more part after this. We'll start by opening the FLA that we used on Part 1. We need to now make a player. That'll be the person playing the game. Make sure all the layers are locked. Select the walls layer, insert a layer. Call this layer player 1. I'm calling it 1. Eventually you might want to make a player 2. Open the new symbols panel, movie clip, player 1, underscore MC, and we're going to make that player. You can call this player 1, and he's going to be a vertical line, and make him a different color. There's a nice purplish. Rectangle tool, thin line. There it is. There's my player. Selection tool, modify, convert to symbol, button, player 1, underscore BTN. Go back to scene 1. Select this first frame of our player's layer and bring our player in and put him right in front of the net, or right in front of this goal area. He's got to be small enough so he can't cover it all. Pick up the instance name, copy and paste it. Go back to your action panel. It's a new variable. I think we've been keeping them up pretty good. And we got a few to make. It's a movie clip. Right after that movie clip, insert a line, VAR. He was player 1, PLAYER 1, underscore MC, colon. And see this panel? If you declare them up here and write in code down here, these panels will come up for you to give you some hints. And as soon as I start writing movie, capital M O, it comes blue, and I just hit enter and it fills it in for me. So that's why sometimes when you have them up here, colon, they work. I need to declare my walls. I have those. I don't have my ball. I should declare that. VAR BALL underscore MC, colon, again capital MO, enter, semicolon. I have them, my walls, my player. Okay, let's go down to the bottom of these ifs, and right here after this curly bracket, type in this code. Much the same as what was up here. If the ball hits player 1, we want it to ricochet, just as if it hit a wall. Let's copy this line for a minute, copy it, and paste it here, and paste it here. So now if it hits any wall or the player, it'll ricochet. This player, that's the person playing the game, needs to be able to move that object. So up here at the very front end of this function, after that curly bracket, type in this code. It's from here to here, what I have highlighted in blue. Okay. It's an if statement. and it's using the keys, up and down arrow keys, to move this player. This code says if player 1 is greater than 50 on the screen, so that would be somewhere around here. If he's greater than that, that means he's down here somewhere. You can then be able to push the up key, and that would send him up the screen. But as soon as he reached 50, that's as far as he could go. You could press the up key all you want, and he would just sit there. So let's go through this code. If bracket player 1, capital P, underscore MC period, underscore y-axis, greater than equals to 50, close bracket, open curly bracket, and down here is the close curly bracket for this if. If that is so, then the key, the up key, will work. That means that if you press if bracket capital key period is down, small I capital D, if that's down, bracket key up, that's the arrow itself, capital K period UP is all capitals, two close brackets, the player movie clip Y will be decremented by 3. So it says player 1 underscore MC period underscore Y minus equals 3. So as long as he's not up to the limit and you press that up key, he'll move up the stage, up the stage, up the stage. Down here is the same if statement, but it's for coming down the stage. The differences here are, it's going to be if the Y underscore Y is less than or equal to 480, so that means I can't go any further than 480. The down key this time will allow, so if I'm here and press the down key, I can come down, down, down until I reach 480, and this increments it, so this is plus 3, plus equals 3 instead of minus equals 3. Let's test this out. There's the ball bouncing off that wall. It's going to come up here. My up arrow works, my down arrow works, and my ricochet works. That's really good. Go back to scene 1. Now we want to keep score. Select a player, layer, insert a layer, call it score, score layer. Somewhere in this area here, pick up your text tool, make it a dynamic text because we're going to write script on it, and draw a line here and put a 0 in here. Try somewhere around 15. There's my 0. Grab my selection tool. I'm going to make this stage a little bigger here. Move to the right. I'm going to now pick up another text box. This is going to be a static text, and write in PLAYER player 1 space equals. Make that long enough to fit here. Pick up your selection tool and somewhat line them up. Go back to this dynamic text, make sure it's selected, and down here give it an instance name, and we're calling it score capital S P, score P underscore TXT. That's the score of the player. Back in our actions panel, up to our variables. Under all these buttons and numbers and movies clips, put in a line, and we're going to declare this score P, capital S, capital P, underscore text, period. It's a text, and it equals to a number, and that number, bracket, 0, close bracket, semicolon. That declares that as a number text. We're going to keep track of the score, so the score is going to be changing. So we'll need a variable to put that into. So right here, insert a line, type in this. It's a variable, just like these. It's called score p count. Capital S, capital P for player, capital C for count, score p count, colon, it's a number and equal to 0. That's a number we're going to be changing as the player scores. So when do we want this score to change? We want it to change when the ball hits that wall on the right hand side, which was wall 7. This one, down to our F. So when the ball hits here, so let's get rid of this trace and let's type in this line, 2 lines. So now when the ball hits wall 7, which is where he scores, that score count, score P count, capital S, capital P, capital C, plus equals, that means increment by 1. So it adds 1 to it. And this line updates what we see, the text we see. Score P underscore text, that's the text box, the dynamic text box we made, period, TEXT, TEXT is blue, equals number, capital NUMBER, bracket, you can just copy this here and paste it in here. Whatever this score becomes when it's incremented, this will go into this text box. There's a open bracket here, score P count, close bracket, semicolon. So let's see if that can work. In order for that to work, we have to hit this right here. And I think it does it on its second round. This can be moved over a little bit in your housekeeping. So when I hit this, I should turn this to a 1. Good. We now have to give the house a score count. So back up here, right here, click under next after this line where the player count is, insert a line, type in this code. You could copy this and just change it to an H. Let's do that here. Let's copy this, paste it, and change this P to a capital H. Now we got to go back to the scene 1 and make the text box for this. All locked except the score. Make it 100% so we can see it. Pick up my text box, draw a text box. This is my dynamic text, so all I want in here is 0 for 0 score. Make another text box, call it house, H-O-U-S-E, space equals. Make this a static text. Selection tool, guide it in place. And let's go back to 50%. Grab your selection tool, grab this all, and let's move it over so it has some symmetry to this one. If I go over here and look at this one, this was score P text, so I'm going to copy that. Go over to this one, paste it in, and instead of P, it's an H, capital H. Go back to your Actions panel, and way down here now, when the wall 8 gets hit, go up to wall 7, copy these 2 lines, come back down to 8, select that trace, paste those 2 lines, and change these P's to H. There should be 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. I want to go back up to the start. We're in our actions panel. I want to go back up to where the start button has been pushed, right here. And at the very end of this start button, I want to insert a line. And that line is going to tell that start button to disappear, so we can't click it twice. If the start button disappears when we hit it after it does all this, then we want it to come back after we've got a score. So down here where we got our 2 score walls, on this wall 7, after that curly bracket, insert this code, which makes the start button visible again. And down here on the 8th wall, which is the other target, which is the other score, make the same thing. So what do these say? When the start button gets pushed, START underscore BTN period underscore visible. If you write it right, it will turn blue, equals false. This will make that button invisible. It bounces around the walls a few times. Someone scores, and the start button visibility visible becomes true. If the word visible and true are blue, you have it typed right. Go back to scene 1. Open up your ball movie clip. Call this layer ball. Insert a layer called action script. Click and insert blank keyframes. Insert blank keyframes and lock the balls layer. Select frame 1. Open the actions panel. Stop. You can probably just do this at 1 instruction, but I'm going to put 2 in. Stop. So when I'm here, I see the ball. When I'm there, I don't see the ball. Back to scene 1. Open the actions panel. Up here where the start button is, on the first line, type this code. Ball underscore MC period go to and stop. All one big word, small g, small t, capital A, capital S. Bracket 1, close bracket, semicolon. This says when you hit the start button, go to frame 1 of that movie clip where the ball, we could see it. Because if we get here, copy this, we want the ball to disappear when it hits these targets. So for wall 7, I'm on wall 7, paste this in, go to and stop frame 2. In frame 2, there's no ball in that, so it's going to look like the ball disappeared, which it did. Do the same thing down here when we score. Paste it and go to frame 2. We've done a lot of coding, and I think we're in a point where we can test this. And all we're looking for is when it hits this wall here or this wall, which are the gold areas. In this case, player 1 is going to hit this wall. This should become a 1, and the ball should disappear. Now, the reason I put that ball 1 visible on the start button is so it could happen again. That's enough for this tutorial. There will be one more tutorial 19, it'll be part 3. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.